This is the video for my practical for my major project. As you can see, I have created a main menu function which has an options which currently has placeholder text, a quit button, which you can also press escape to quit, and play, which takes you to the first level, which is the only level of this game. From here you can see the player loads in, they can see the end goal which is here, and the instructions, which is press E to interact with items and was D to move. Here it gives you welcome patient. As you can read, this is the story aspect of the game. You can see I've used a lot of third-party assets to build this level. That is because I'm mainly focused on the audio, and my 3D skills left a lot to be desired, so I use third-party assets which can be found on the Unreal Store. I have linked those in using references in my devlog to create the level. I also used a third-party asset called the Horror Engine, which is what created the walk mechanic and the movement for this game. It also created the sound walking, which I couldn't adjust, and I couldn't adjust the walk speed overall due to the mechanic of the third-party asset. Unfortunately, due to an error, my initial recording for the sound that I implemented in this game was of a low quality and was lacking somewhat, so I used it as placeholder. However, unfortunately, by the time I got around to actually having a functioning game and to be able to readjust the sound, I was nearing the end of my deadline. As a result of that, I used third-party assets to fill the sound of my game. However, I focused on editing them in Audition and implementing them using the Fmod audio program, which allowed me to use a sequencer and the events function to adjust the pitch and volume and randomize that. It also allowed me to create a scatterer, which allowed me to layer several sounds together to create a randomized ambient sound, which you can hear playing right now, and it will play different sounds at a random time as I've adjusted the probability. So a siren, a spooky noise, a crowd talking, glass shattering, and they will randomly play throughout. I'll stop talking so you can hear a little bit. Once you get here, I also added in a heartbeat noise to try and give more of a creepy ambience to the building as you approach. I tried to add a creepy sound effect to try and lead the player in another direction once they get here. However, once I did implement that, there was some sort of issue that I didn't really have time to fix, so that didn't happen, unfortunately. This is Acreage Asylum, no admittance without key, so I have it so when you try to get through here to leave, the door doesn't open, even if you click E. Yeah. As you can hear, I had a crying woman sound effect added into this area, which I thought would either creep the player out or give them some drive to try and find the key to escape. I added this kind of paper trail to direct the players a little bit. I also added the road to try and make the sounds of traffic more believable in the game. So as the roads seem to lead in the same direction, you can follow them to where the key should be. Of course, it's a very expansive game, so there's no guarantee the player will go in this direction. However, I believe with the sounds and the road directing them, it will lead them in that direction. Originally, I wanted to add a few cars on this area to actually make the road more believable. However, when I was looking for sound effect for traffic models that fit the game, I couldn't find any that were of a implementable capacity for my computer and engine to actually make usable. And as you can see, a lot of the buildings look very identical. I did this on purpose, one to try and ease up the amount of assets I was going to be using from third party. The other one was I felt in the earlier the game was a kind of like a dream simulation. I figured that it'd add to the strangeness of it if every single building looked the same. This is lighting issues, but there is a lip underneath here, which so the buildings are floating. Although I know it seems as such, it's just because the way it's. So when you hear, you can hear a key, and then here it is. So I do have it so when you leave the area, the key disappears. So now you have the key, you can actually leave the area. So we'll cut through here and walk all the way back. I can understand that this is quite a tedious game, but I think that's partly down to the fact I couldn't adjust the walking speed. If I was to go through this again, I would very likely focus on developing the walking and maneuvering aspect of the game myself instead of using a third-party asset, as if I did so, the character I would have been able to adjust the walking speed of the character, aside from this, which is a very slow pace, and this, which is admittedly a very slow running speed as well. And I can adjust the volume of the steps, which I think does have a habit of masking the overall sound I've implemented in the game so far. When the player gets to the final game, I would have it so it fades to black after a short while while hearing the woman crying, which I thought was a sufficiently creepy, scary horror aspect of the game that I wanted to implement. I am aware that it looks quite sparse, but I believe that this adds to the overall creepiness and strangeness of the game. Again, if I was to do it over again, I'd spend a lot more time recording higher quality sound assets, so I don't have to rely on the third-party sound assets. I would also avoid using the horror engine, because I feel it did restrict me a lot in the speed of the character, which means the game becomes a lot more tedious than it would otherwise be. And yeah, that is pretty much my major project. I'm understanding, and I apologize of how simplistic the game is. However, I believe that the sound is a very nice aspect of the game. I will be including all the sound files that I have used, the Fmod program, what version of it I have used, the Unreal Engine files, because unfortunately I can't package the project. I explained why in my devlog. So yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for watching.